Now is the time.
Forever? Tangent. Old.
Halt.
Hashtag always MGM.
You are approaching the unloading area.
Calm down. AK haters.
But what if it could?
Behold the majesty of the Sistine Ceiling.
For the kids.
A salute to all theme parks, but mostly Walt Disney World.
Ha! What a cute ending.
Aloha and
Don't DIllo it.
This is Theme Park Thursday with DIllo's Diz. She is Jen.
Hello.
And I am Frank, and we are 5 weeks away from the 3rd annual DIllo's Diz meetup.
But you know what happens before that?
October.
It's October. As this podcast is released. Welcome to Frank's birthday month, everybody.
You know, when I turned 50 last year,
How's that feel?
it was
Say that.
October. But there was this thing going on called the Mets were full of magic. They were on this unexpected, magical run that came to an end 8 days before my birthday, somewhere in 8 or 9 days before the birthday.
Sure.
So for most of the month, I didn't think about it at all. And it was glorious.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday, the magic that wasn't really there all season, we can get into that, went away completely when the Mets did not make the playoffs on the final day of the season. Now, I think, first of all, most people are happy that we're not spending most of October like we did last year talking about the Mets this much.
Who's happy about that?
Well, there's got to be somebody. It's like, there's got to be somebody that's like, thank God they're not talking about the Mets all the time. Because there's, even when there's magic, there are the detractors. There are the people who, like most of the broadcasters on the playoff games last year, they all hated the Mets.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I'm fine with it all. I don't want to, get mad at anybody or, blame anybody. I just kind of want to present the following and try to connect it somehow to this Theme Park Thursday with DIllo's Diz podcast. Right? We were very nostalgic for last season from the jump.
Very.
Very. We were ready when they were making all the signings of the people that we loved last year.
Yeah.
Winky, Mania, Pete. We're like, here we go. We're just lining up. We're getting all the pieces in place. They get Soto. Big money. Forget all of that right now.
No.
10 years ago, the last time the Mets made the World Series, I was 40 going on 41. It's totally fine.
Totally fine.
Totally fine. We were 2 months away from the Star Wars franchise being reinvigorated. And when The Force Awakens hit, there were Star Wars fans everywhere that were like, the magic is back. We're going to see this movie multiple times. We love it. There's going to be a theme park element that we're so psyched for right at the end of the movie. The hero, the homegrown farm boy is coming back home. All the pieces were in place with this franchise because of The Force Awakens 10 years ago.
Okay.
And then the following movie, a lot of people thought the magic was gone. Now there were some people that were like, it's the best it's ever been, and it's gonna be great for a long time, for maybe 15 years or more. We don't know. And so then you had this franchise that was going back and forth with really strong detractors on both sides. And then the theme park element opened, and then the most expensive element opened after that, the Galactic Star Cruiser, and then we had, we had the Rise of Skywalker in 2019. Even though Rise of the Resistance was in the theme park, we were still torn. The movie is, and the ride is fantastic. Just so much confusion this franchise was providing us. And now we're left with a Mandalorian and Grogu trailer that I'm excited for, but question mark. So all I'm saying is, New York Mets, you have to do something that is going to change the narrative. You thought you did it last year when you went for the most expensive piece, the shiniest jewel of all, and Juan Soto had a great season, but there was no chemistry. There was no match. You could feel it all year. It just wasn't. They tried different things, and it just didn't. That's where we are with Star Wars. They keep trying. I still love the Mets. I still love Star Wars. We still love Disney. I still love the WWE. All of those fandoms are so polarizing. But Mets, I'm telling you, you have to. I'm bringing it back. You have to find one piece to change the narrative. And that Mandalorian and Grogu trailer, all I could Jen is like, whoa, I'm getting whiplash.
Keeping up, keeping up.
So that Mandalorian and Grogu trailer, I'm gonna go see it, obviously.
Sure.
But it's gonna need a piece that is going to change the narrative of the franchise and the excitement and the magic has to return with that movie. There's a lot of stuff going on with that Mandalorian. There's a lot of weight, and probably unnecessarily so. I think Mandalorian and Grogu is a key to the future. More than anything else, more than the Gosling movie, more than anything else they're talking about, the new Rey movie, all that. I think it is the Mandalorian and Grogu movie that needs to provide something that will change the narrative for everyone. And that is my comparison to the 2025 New York Mets. Sure. I knew all day long that I had to address it in some way. I don't know if I connected all the dots. It's a stretch. But I'm just saying, every fandom has the intensity. I was trying to make the comparisons to the Star Wars franchise with some recent news.
I mean, I think, first of all, if we're making comparisons to anything, that is how we do them. They're tangent-y, and they don't fully make sense, but they do. But they make sense at the same time. My question is, if you think it's Mandalorian and Grogu for Disney, what is it for the Mets?
They're going to, I don't know if I know that answer. They're either going to, and maybe it's a PR marketing thing to get us amped. Maybe it's the kid pitchers starting from the jump and putting some branding on them and making them, this is our future. And we're going to get behind them. I think it's a pitcher of some kind. But I based on all the facts we currently have as of Monday evening, a lot of which I don't want to be the facts right now, but just because I'm still in my emotions and my anger. My angry eyes. I think that it is a big-time pitcher of some kind that's probably going to come from a trade. And maybe it should be two big-time pitchers. That hasn't proven them well in the last few years, but two big pitchers and the kids, maybe we can talk.
We're so old. And the kid, get the kid up there. Put him on the mound.
It's the kids.
Congrats to Theme Park Rob. His Reds.
Theme Park Rob on March 16th clearly put a hex on the Mets in Port St. Lucie by wearing his Cincinnati Reds jersey and hat to the game. They weren't playing the Reds. The Reds spring training is in Arizona.
Yeah. Hashtag blame theme park Rob.
Ha! I've changed the narrative now.
Change the narrative. He is saying in the chat, I feel like the Reds are going to waste this opportunity. Theme park Rob, I will tell you, the 11-year-old agrees with you. So there is that. He also agrees. Yeah, for me, the turning point for the Mets and how I feel about most things, especially on this podcast, is in order to go forward, we have to go backwards. Bring back the fall 2024 Mets. Bring back that whole team just as it is. Put Winky on some sort of great rehab treatment for the summer, so he's feeling for the summer. What month is this? For the winter, so he feels better. And just let's go. Let's get it all back. Jeffers pointing out the Blue Jays.
Yeah, they're fine. I'm not here to talk about the Reds. I'm not here to talk about the Blue Jays. I'm certainly not here to talk about the Yankees versus the Red Sox, which 20 years ago I've been like, oh man, Yankees, Red Sox in the playoffs. Let's go. Because always the Heat. The Heat is gone in that rivalry. I'm giving you all the sports talk here on DIllo's Sports Chat.
There was a moment in the game where, it was 0-0 for a while. And I was like, all right, whatever. And that's when the Reds were winning. And we were like, oh, God. And then all of a sudden the Brewers are winning. And then the Marlins are winning. And we're like, this is not the combination. This is not it. And all I kept saying is like, we need one of those beautiful Pete moments.
And then he hit the hardest ball any Met hit the entire season into someone's leaping glove.
That was crazy. That was nuts. I don't know. But so Mandalorian, Grogu, and the Mets.
What did you think of the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer? Did you watch it?
I believe I did. I mean, I enjoyed The Mandalorian, so it makes sense that there's a movie, and it'll be interesting how it plays out in the theater versus how it's been playing out in episodes. But, I mean, I think this is us, like, look at us excited. I think we're excited. Like, I think that's, yeah. It's a feeling.
Can we do one more? Do I have one more random topic? Because we've been talking about Only Murders in the Building and the morning show on the side here. Mm-hmm. So when you watch both of those shows, do you two things? For Only Murders, do you just go into Father of the Bride land with the two of them all the time? Because you're a big Father of the Bride fan.
I am.
Yeah.
I mean, it's difficult not to. And then, no spoilers, but last season I did make a TikTok because there were 3 people on that screen during last season that all 3 of them were also on the screen in Father of the Bride. And I was like, God, my life is just surrounded by the 3 of them. But I find in this season, I do think I'm still 1 episode behind of Only Murders now. But I have found that I feel like there's a little more ad lib happening. Like there was one point where they just like cracked each other up, and I'm like, I feel like they just kept that in, but I don't think that was probably scripted. And
Okay, this is that was the first part, and the second part was like, sometimes I just get caught and wanted to call her Rachel when I watch the morning show when I watch Jennifer Aniston, but that's neither here nor there. But I will ask you because it did come up last night. And no spoilers for episode 2, but Cory, right?
Yeah.
How would you define his character?
Define his character.
Like, give me a 1-word adjective to describe him.
I don't know.
Would it be slimeball?
No. But, like, first of all, I love that character. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I'm happy anytime he's on. Yeah. Like, I think he plays it so well. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there is an aspect of him that is a slime ball, but, like, maybe it's just because of how he plays it that, like, I'm not like, ugh, this, like.
Right.
There's something endearing about him that, like, I don't know.
There was a moment, and I'm not going to say where.
Okay.
In episode 2. Yeah. Where I was just like, Yes. Right.
Uh-huh.
And Mrs. DIllo was like, and who also loves the character, mind you,
Yeah, yeah.
but was like, what a slime ball. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
What?
But no, because I mean, I have to watch episode 2. So, but I can totally see that. Like, it's not like I would be like, oh, absolutely not. But because of all these other quirks about him, I don't call him that overall. He has his moments of that where it's like, oh, okay, you're like, all right.
Right, and I didn't cross-examine Mrs. DIllo after and go, is it because he's charming? Like, I want to know, like,
Yeah.
what I want to dive deeper. But
Right.
thus concludes our 20 minutes of all the talk.
Who knows?
Sports talk.
Someone sum up the last 20 minutes and let us know what you would call that. I do think maybe that should just be whatever. I want to hear from people, and those in the chat can start it off. What would you call this first 20 minutes? I mean, I think we've always referred to that as like the Regis and Kathy, morning chatter type thing.
And now we're talking about the morning show. That was the original name of Live with Regis and Kathy Lee's, the morning show.
But
Story.
I don't know what to call it for us, our like opening random tangents that we go on. I do think it's very like, if you want to know, I wonder like if Jen and Frank like text, like what's in those texts? This whole conversation, that whole conversation would have like been a text thing with some gifts thrown in.
Right. Like I said, now, but when the podcast started, it was like landline telephone, but now here we are with text with gifts.
See.
And just to close the loop on Regis, like we do, confusing. I'm very sorry about the Star Wars Mets. I thought I could get there. It didn't happen. It's fine. I accept it.
Warming up.
The warm up, yeah.
Lewis, just a quick question on the confusing, but it works. Okay. Yes, you were mentioning Regis.
Regis. I feel like lately has popped up twice in recent weeks. I'm not going to say where because I don't want to provide. Well, one was in a Emmys speech, and one was an appearance on perhaps one of the television shows we've been talking about. So.
Oh. Okay.
Do you know? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Which
Oh, no,
I mean, his daughter is the showrunner, I think, or the executive producer, one of the.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Which is why it feels nostalgic. By the way, that show feels nostalgic. So
Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right, here we are. Okay, so because randomly I saw that we're the number 9 Walt Disney World podcast on FeedSpot earlier today, which I don't quite understand. But as a salute to all theme parks, but mostly Walt Disney World, and it being October, see, we're just bringing it all the way back because
To Frank's birthday month.
it's the birthday month. No Mets in the playoffs. It all ties in, people. We're living in a society, and what we wanted to talk about was it was announced that all remaining dates of Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party is sold out. You're not going to see it. So I wanted to kind of pose this question to Jen, knowing in 5 weeks we're going to see Mickey's Not So Scary, Very Merry Christmas Party and Jollywood Night. So kind of re-entering the party world for another year here. Is it, and we only went to Not So Scary for the first time in 2023. We went again in 2024. Those were the first 2 meetups. Is it too soon to be nostalgic for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party?
I'm literally having to process the names of these parties because I'm starting to get confused.
I'm just going to move to the beer
during-
now. That's it.
But I keep, because even when I'm talking about them, I'm like, well, when we go to Mickey's Not So Very, what? Not so, what is it called? Is it too soon? No. I mean, it's not that, no is the answer for me, because it is something we did twice. We were very themed with it. It also was our first meetup, and we had never been to a party before, and now it ties into our first meetup. So that is, and we are removed from it. So anything you're removed from can be nostalgic. I'm sure it will feel more nostalgic as time goes on, but I think we were probably surprised to go to the party again the second year. I think after, like, I think that first year we were like, oh, I don't know if we'll go to one again, and I don't know if we'll go back, maybe. And so the fact that we did it again, I don't know when I'll be back to it, I say, as everyone probably starts planning our next meetup next year. But I don't, so to me, I'm going to now hold the memories of it, and it's building. The nostalgia is building. Do you think it's too soon?
No, I don't think it's too soon. I think I've been trying to determine, right? Because then all the algorithms are about these parties now. And that is, as Val is calling it, the not so merry. She called it. I've been calling it the not so merry holiday.
Yeah, Mickey's Not So Merry.
Yeah, I like that one. What about it is nostalgic? And obviously, it's the company, the meetup, but what about the party itself? I think is where my deep dive lies. With the Magic Kingdom part of it, right? I think we ended up committing to the party because we knew we would get more bang for our buck by going to Not So Scary rather than, the astronomical park ticket price it is for Magic Kingdom these days, where you don't even want to add on a fourth day when the other three parks, you get deals for the majority of the year. So I feel like it's still a steal to go to Not So Scary in the early September, late August portion there, even though it's hot, and go from there.
Yeah, I think it's like an Inception thing. Like there's a world within a world, because there are things about the party that made me feel nostalgic for things I experienced in the past about the parks. You have the nighttime parade aspect, and more of the shows, and just the theming of things, and just the vibe of the park itself kind of lent to old school Disney. I mean, it's crowded, but it's not as crowded as a regular day, and so you can walk around a little more freely and all of those things. So I think the fact that there are parts of the night that felt nostalgic because of things we loved about nighttime in the parks, while now also creating these new memories to lend to it, is something weird. But I did see that Lewis also said, can you have nostalgia for something that exists and you choose not to go to? I mean, I'm nostalgic for, I feel like I'm always feeling nostalgia for Disney in different ways, whether those things exist or not. But it is true. Like, is there a proper time frame where it becomes nostalgia and not just something you love or something you miss or whatever? I don't know what the answer to that is.
Right. I think it all comes down to, right, because we've had this conversation before, but let's see if we can define it better. How would you define Halloween for yourself growing up? Like, did you like Halloween? Obviously, it's a problem for me because it's 2 days removed from my birthday. But for you, did you enjoy Halloween as a kid? Was Halloween a big deal for you? Where did you sit with Halloween?
I think, and we've talked about this a bit, that I feel like I would either be sick around Halloween or Christmas every year. Like one of those two is where like the sickness would hit. And so there are times where I think back to Halloween and I'm like, why? Like I can't remember everything I was every year. Like I remember being Wayne and Garth with a friend, and one, because that was a little more memorable, and I believe I was in 5th grade, which was, it's fine that the 11-year-old's in 6th grade. That's fine. But like, and there's a picture of that. But then there's a picture of little me in like a punk rocker type wig. I know that I was a witch in a year that I was in your bicycle basket as you were riding me around the neighborhood. But like, I don't have a ton of memories of like costumes I had or what I was or all of that, which I think is interesting. And then like as I got a little older, I was hanging out at the teen center watching the scary movies and stuff because I'm so cool. But like, I find it interesting, and maybe this is our connection to it. We always say we're more Christmas people than Halloween people, but like, why can't I remember like certain things I was? Or did I miss that many Halloweens from being sick?
Right.
Like, what happened?
Yeah, and that was a lot for me. I know that I was sick a lot for usually I would blame it on the excitement of the birthday into Halloween combination when I was younger, which probably then didn't help how I felt about my birthday going forward. But I see where Lewis is talking about, can any memories of things be nostalgic, or is that a different thing? And the line between nostalgia and FOMO. I don't think I'm talking about that. I think I'm talking about, correct, with the Boo to You parade. There is something about the feeling of it. So you're combining the night, Magic Kingdom at night, the nighttime parade. Characters maybe that you don't see all the time, so you see them in different settings. I feel like that all triggers things that there is a feeling you get that is, and I'm not saying that isn't nostalgia or not nostalgia, but it is something that I think invokes those past feelings about it and makes you go, oh man, I do. I sit on, when we were at the hub the one time that, I miss nighttime parades more often, and I miss being in Magic Kingdom at night more often because sometimes I'm not, because I have a kid, and so bedtime, so you're not staying to close or anything like that. And I definitely, and this will come up maybe in a future podcast, but felt the same way walking around Disneyland at night. I was like, how can this place feel nostalgic just walking around the park for the 3 days that I've been here? How is it invoking this much nostalgia? So that I found super fascinating. So I feel that way about the Halloween party, and I can't quite grasp it, whether it's the ability to get on all the rides quick. You don't see that a lot anymore. Whether it's, the Headless Horseman thing is nostalgic. You watch that cartoon a lot when you were a kid. And just other more live entertainment, streetmosphere kind of stuff on the parties. So there's all these things that I think come with what we remember from our childhood, and that is, and then we kind of said it last year, like, when am I going to go to Not So Scary again? Maybe it'll be with the kids. But I also could see where I'm going to go again, because of everything we've just been talking about.
Yeah, I don't think any memory means there's nostalgia tied to it. I think it's all about a feeling or how it affected you in a good way, or something that created maybe like a tradition or something like that. But I don't think any memory necessarily is nostalgic, but I do think it's more about the feels and the vibes. And, for some reason, which I think is funny, because I'm sure when we were like little, the parks weren't open super late at night. And we were in a bunch of party animals going, from morning till night or whatever. But there is something that hits us for Disney at night, hardcore. And so anytime there's anything happening in Disney at night, something like a nighttime parade, where also we can still sing 15 years we're having a party. We enjoy those parades and seeing a bunch of cast members singing and dancing and really into it, where it's, the characters are there, of course, but there's a whole show going on as well. And that is something that I feel like they've moved away from a little bit in terms of like parades and all of that, where sure, the floats are great and the characters are great and all of that, but this idea that there's like a whole production. I mean, I remember saying that, I think our first year when we were watching the parade, whereas like I was talking to you, like, when do you think they start rehearsing for this? Like this, there's so much involved, and there's so many cast members doing the exact same dance moves and everything in this parade. And then you got to think of, well, what if someone gets sick, and how many more people know this dance and this routine?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's all about those vibes, I guess.
It's the vibes for sure. And I think, yeah, going back to, when we were kids, we didn't, I don't think we saw Fantasy in the Sky again because we didn't see the Magic Kingdom that much at night because it would close at 6 o'clock in December and January because of the hours or whatever, and Epcot would be open at 9. So we were doing one of two things at night. We would either watch whatever the nighttime show was, Illuminations 88 or whatever, at 9 o'clock, or it was the electrical water pageant at the Poly, and that was 9 o'clock at night. And that's why that's why Epcot at night hits with the nostalgia at night, and it's why the Poly hits at night with the nostalgia, especially the electrical water pageant, which still feels like it's the late 70s watching that, even though we weren't there in the late 70s. It has the history behind it, which, to Theme Park Rob's point about Disneyland, is there's an easy, Disneyland is the beginning, and you can feel the history behind it. And I think that comes with a lot. I really was surprised at the feelings invoked by the party. And again, the company, the experience, that's all certainly part of it. And I definitely would not call it FOMO. I'm not sad I'm missing out on the Halloween party this year. It's not that at all. But there is a man, that Boo to You parade is that's pure Disney theme park experience right there. And that you need more of that in your life. In our one channel Discord associated with DIllo's DisResort.com, Nate mentioned today that there's maybe a little live entertainment things happening at Hollywood Studios, #AlwaysMGM, and but clearly clearly it's not Citizens of Hollywood. And I was like, you can try to float new things. I don't mind. And again, we talk about Citizens of Hollywood a lot. We talked about it a lot last week with 1992. But at that time, you also had, 4-piece bands, and you had marching bands more often, and you had, little ensembles here and there. There was other things happening. But obviously we were drawn more to Citizens of Hollywood. So yeah, I'm not gonna negate any other attempts at live entertainment in the parks, on the boardwalk, wherever. I welcome it. But there is a need to have that energy. That energy has to be a part of it, and that's what the Boo to You parade did. That's what the one headless horseman on a horse is doing, riding down the block. Is that's all you need. The mood is set, the performer, the horse, the clap, 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 clap. It's all you need. And those aspects, I think, make it nostalgic. Now, you're not gonna have the fog coming off of Rivers of America anymore. But I was like, no, I need that. I needed to see that here at Not So Scary Halloween Party.
Yeah, and as you're clocking for the horse, the galloping sound of the trotting sound of a horse in the parks. There's some nostalgia to that because, and I know you see it sometimes going down Main Street that you see the horses still, but they were out so much more, and I just feel like something like, and they were in the parades, and they were in the morning, they were welcoming a family, and they were doing all these things where you heard the horse trotting down Main Street all the time. So something simple as like that sound it can be nostalgic, I feel like.
Yeah, and I think that, and I know we talk about it a lot, but and maybe as much as I think sometimes it gets presented as a negative because we don't like change, or we don't. To us, the nostalgia is actually positive, and actually something that we look for in art, not actively because we don't want the disappointment. We DIllo our expectations. Everyone, don't get excited. But it's something that, like, you want to try to capture the moments that you can capture. I think that is something that, you know, it is found when you can go collectively on an attraction together, or
Yeah.
share a kitchen sink in Beaches and Cream together, or whatever it may be. Maybe get walked off a ride together, just to pull something that we haven't done as a group. Like, those things stay with you, and I think that, and like, you also can't manufacture it, right? You can't make that stuff happen. It's
Yeah.
but I think the character meet and greets out there, even though we don't usually wait in a line for, like, we're more attraction based, but knowing that it's out there and being able to walk by it and see it, and maybe get to cross your path, like, that's sometimes all I need, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's all happening. It's all very Disney.
Yeah. I'm seeing Lewis say, I wish I could think of a better term than FOMO. I just know that nostalgia feels like an emotion that you want to relive and usually can't. Yeah. And I think that says a lot, because do I have FOMO when people are at the Halloween party? Would I have FOMO if people were at Mickey's Not So Very Merry this year and I wasn't going? No. But every day, do I feel nostalgic for walking around the Polynesian at night, or for, watching Wishes, or for like wanting to be walking around World Showcase at night, something like that? Like, I feel more nostalgic for, and more of like that good vibe. Like, I just want to have that feeling more than, oh, I hate that I'm missing that, or I'm jealous of someone else who's experiencing that. It's like, not that. It's just, but it's true that it can't always be recreated, like a nostalgic moment or memory or whatever it is. But yeah, I don't know. I just keep going back to like those vibes, I guess.
Yeah, and Jeffers kind of brought it up in the Discord over the weekend, where he posted like a picture of him with his morning coffee at a certain time of day versus like when he's waiting in line for the Skyliner or whatever it is,
Yeah.
and like just the difference in composure or what have you.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, yeah, why is that? And I mean, and it's all things we discuss, and I think that, yeah, you're trying to seek out living, live every life of your day like it's Christmas. Easier, but live your life like you're in Disney every day. Easier said than done with everything going on in life.
Yeah.
That, it's impossible to recreate. But it also, trying to create it going on another trip, I think is hard. I think we talked about the Great Movie Ride. We miss it so much. It's what started this podcast. But I bet you if we really sat down, I bet you half of our Great Movie Rides had the right guide.
Oh yeah.
If it's 50%. And 50% of those rides were like, we're just happy to be in Oz.
Yeah.
Like,
And even when we did the podcast, we were like, when's the last time you were on it? It's been a while. Like, it had
Yeah.
been a while.
Yeah.
But like, we hold so much nostalgia to it. To your point about Jeffers with that photo he did this weekend, the Disney adrenaline is a real thing too, that I feel like, maybe that doesn't get talked about enough. Like, the idea that you could wake up and be like, what is it, 6? We better get going because we want to rope drop and we want to do all the things. And like 6 o'clock on a regular day, no one's doing that. I always commend you to Mr. Snydillo for your Disney adrenaline. I'm like, we all have the Disney adrenaline and we can all get up early and go to late, where it's like, I wouldn't do this at home. But you can take it to another level where I'm like, can we do a nap? And you're like, you're going to sleep? How long are you going to sleep? What are you going to, how long? And I'm like, let's go. I got to sleep. What do you mean?
yeah.
But you have like way more, your Disney adrenaline is like next level.
For me? Or are you talking about Mr. Me?
No, I'm talking about you.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Mr. Snydillo.
No, I was telling him about yours.
Uh,
I tell him about yours often.
I'm also surprised by it. Yeah, and I don't know, for all the old talk, I am surprised by, And I feel like to go back when Galaxy's Edge opened, and the next day we had just planned to go to Food and Wine or whatever, and I was like, I think I'm gonna get the park hopper and go back in at 6 a.m. to see Galaxy's Edge again. I think I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
But knowing I was like on 2 hours of sleep, and woke up at 3. But I was like, no, I think I have to. So yeah, there's something that is different. There's different wiring that happens, and yeah, I think that is. I wish I had that energy all the time, and I don't.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Theme Park Rob is mentioning. I just see him. I don't have my glasses on, but jelly rolls here, and I was just going through those videos today, mostly because I was looking at Theme Park Rob in his Cincinnati Reds outfit and getting annoyed, but. But there was the same day, and that we said it on the podcast earlier this year, and if we can piece together like a highlight version for the end of the year or something, I want it back. But that night in Jelly Rolls, we came off a very long Ellen Compass dinner that was unnecessary, and so it was already. I was at a baseball game earlier that day. Like it was a lot. I was like, oh God, I'm not going into Jelly Rolls. And the line outside was long. I'm not going into Jelly Rolls with the wrong. And I don't know when the last time that I felt like I was in a time warp in Jelly Rolls that night. I felt like it was every Jelly Rolls experience I ever had.
Yeah.
In one night, and those things. Someone's always getting married. Someone's always having a birthday. Someone's always a cast member. Those things just happen. But I don't know. There was something about how each of those things hit. I was like, they have crafted a perfectly nostalgic night at Jelly Rolls. I'm not even. And they had new songs. They had songs. Do I know Pink Pony Club way more now than I did 6 months ago? I sure do. But. That is, I don't know how they did it. From everything, from the cast members that were there partying to the performances to the packed nature of it. We hadn't seen it that packed in a long time. Just everything about it screamed 1997 to 2005, and
yeah, it's like if you were making a movie and Jelly Rolls was going to be in your movie. So who are like the background actors? Well, we need the corporate folk, and their badges have to be on from their corporate meetings they just got off of that day. We're going to need a bachelorette party. We're going to need a birthday party. We're going to need the cast members. We're going to need then just the random guests who just happen to come. You need the cast of characters. And when we had the cast of characters, it was impossible to walk through the bar that night because of all the corporate folk. And I literally stepped on people's feet that night because but that's classic. That is classic Jelly Rolls, corporate people. And it's just all those little things that you don't even think that much about when before that day, if I was like, oh yeah, Jelly Rolls, I'm not thinking about all the cast of characters necessarily, but that night, seeing them all there, it's like, right, no, yep, you should be here, and you should be here, and you should be here.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it really. It's funny that I didn't think we were going to talk about Jelly Rolls tonight, but I was scrolling through the videos today, and I was like, I don't know how this happened, and especially that I went from just being in a place at that restaurant and the hour before we got in there, and then boom, transported into every experience every great experience I ever had at Jelly Rolls. I never had a bad experience. Yeah, it was something.
Lewis is wondering what part he played. You were not the grumpy old guy, Lewis. You were just the newbie trying to experience and figure it all out and being like, where am I? What is all of this? That's who you were. You were the newbie. That's all.
Yeah. And his heart grew 3 sizes larger that day.
Don't you type that it didn't, Lewis. Yeah. And I am glad that we made it there. And I do wish we had made it work during our Halloween parties years with the meetups, but glad we made it work that time.
Yeah. So just to bring it back to the Halloween party a little bit is it something now, like we have a playlist over on our YouTube channel. Will you look back at the videos here in the Halloween time, or are you just kind of like, It's not a FOMO thing, Lewis. It's a question I will ask as someone who we always watch videos of what we do.
Right. Yeah. I mean, no, I will look back at them, and sometimes I mean, also just as a side a little bit that as you're looking at videos, I'm going back going, oh God, I have so much content on my phone that I've never done anything with, and I really need to do things with. And I'm sure there's some Halloween stuff thrown into that, but I am glad that we made that playlist because it did force us to kind of like put stuff out and have our experiences documented. But no, I definitely think so, especially the Booty Parade, but also the stage show,
Hmm.
because I don't know that either of us really stick around for many stage shows
But
as at this point, but probably even long before that. But that one was just really good, and it's just so there's an appreciation I have for all the entertainment during the party, especially for I felt like we were kind of into the party and into the idea of experiencing it, and we were, wearing our quote unquote costumes during it and whatever else. But we were also saying that like we're not we're more Christmas than Halloween. We don't hate Halloween or anything, but the way we did the party, because we weren't like trick or treating or doing all the character photo spots, but the parade and the stage show were like the things that were connecting us back to the Halloween aspect of the party, I feel like. So there's something that speaks to that. But I will go back and watch it, and I feel like even sometimes if I catch a clip of like the parade or something, I'm like, oh, that's such a good parade. I need to like watch that again, and
yeah, yeah, no, and it's something that I feel like I need to, because again, I don't know if you know, Jen, but 2 weeks from tomorrow, Hallmark Christmas movies start.
no,
So
absolutely not for some, and that's great if that brings you joy.
anyway, and it's like, and it's already like creeping in a little bit here, and at the end of September. Well, it's as we're recording, it's the end of September. That it's already, Hallmark movies were watched on just the fall movies, and so they're showing the commercials for the Christmas movies, and so they went out and got Mrs. Dillo and the 9-year-old went out and got fall smelling candles and a couple of Christmas smelling candles, and it's like, what? You put those away. I don't want. I mean, that smells really good. That smells like a Christmas fir for sure. So that's one of the better smelling candles. But no, we can't smell that one yet. Long story short is, like, no, I have to make the effort to kind of get in that. I want to make more of an effort to watch some of the Halloween related, not only our content but other content that's out there.
Yeah, definitely.
But and then Halloween will be over, and then we'll be at the park a week after that for you enjoying Christmas the first week of November.
I'm not the only one in this group that is having a hard time with doing Christmas before Thanksgiving. I think those of us that will have a hard time are kind of treating this as its own little island of, we're in Disney, we're just with everybody experiencing this party. That doesn't mean I come home and start my Christmas season, because no, I will not yet.
What if you did?
But what if I didn't?
What I haven't mentioned is not 10 days prior to, I think I mentioned it briefly, 10 days prior to our meetup, I will be in Orlando, Florida, albeit briefly. I did make dining reservations on both the mornings that I am in I don't have a hotel yet, but I have two breakfast dining reservations. Did I tell you these yet, Jen, or no?
I think so.
Yeah. So I have the Boathouse for one of the days, and then I have Steakhouse 71 for the other day. I'm like, am I renting a car? I don't know. But is it electric or gas? I don't know. But
oh my God, can you imagine if you end up with? Well, thank God, Mrs. Dillo will be with you. At least that helps.
But I think one, it'll be contingent on where we end up staying, and two is, especially if it's in the Disney Springs area. I was like, at least if it's there, I feel like. In either case, I'm like, we're not making it all the way back to the Contemporary. We're not driving all the way back there. That is wishful thinking right there.
But what if you could?
What if I could? What if?
Does Mrs. DIllo know about your dining reservations?
Heck no. She has no idea. And once we book the hotel, I'll be like, oh, by the way, I have the boathouse.
Right. Well, you want to go grab some breakfast? No, we could just go to the boathouse. We could probably just walk right in. Hi, Frank. Reservation for 2. I've had it for 3 months. Thank you. I didn't have any other plans.
You just want to go over to...
Want to take a ride? Want to take a ride to the Contemporary?
Before we wrap things up here, because we're talking about my 2 days in Orlando at the end of October, and then we're talking about our meetup at the beginning of November. November 7th, we're at the Very Merry Christmas Party for the first night. November 8th, we're at Jollywood Nights for the first night. Come say hi if you're still listening. And
If you've kept up with us.
But it is that time of the podcast that I mention that Jeffers is still about whether we're going to EPCOT on that Thursday.
Oh yeah.
And he's sending temptation texts, as I call them.
Yeah.
Where this week, Jen? Where do you sit on EPCOT on the Thursday before?
Listen, I think Jeffers pointed out the whatever day it was, where it was like 38 days away. I was like, 38 days? What do you mean? It's like, what? So I don't know. I think about it here and there. I think at some point I told Mr. Snydillo, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm going to EPCOT." I was like, "We're going to the party."
Don't say that.
That's what we're doing. It's like, yeah, but it's EPCOT. Because Mr. Snydillo, every once in a while, I'm like, we can go to Disney, and then we'll just, like, maybe on the next trip, we'll just do Magic Kingdom. He's like, but what about EPCOT? Like, he's, always goes back to EPCOT. But he's like, but it is a perfect opportunity for you guys to do GO82. I was like, stop it. Stop it. Do you know how much it costs to go to EPCOT for the day? Stop it.
He got you on Test Track last week, Jeffers. And then this week, I don't know, did you see the text he sent this week? Yep.
I saw. That's what he does. This is what he does.
So, just to say, I was like, what did 2 tickets cost today? How much are my Disney reward points? Carry the what? I mean, I think we gotta map out the rest of the trip financially and really make a decision.
Just a side note, everybody, we've never done that. For trips. We've never
Just
done
do it.
financial.
Just do it. Yeah, and if I say that, if I tell that story to Mrs. DIllo, she's like, just get the dang ticket.
Are you guys going Blue Basic again? You better not be.
Well, oh man, she was, she made sure of that for sure. Listen, we have a goal on the first night.
Do we? Do we have anything?
We have nothing. I don't think the water park freebie for me is going to come into effect unless our plane arrives early on that first day of the meetup. But in a perfect world, we are getting from MCO. I mean, and maybe Theme Park Rob is our hook into this for make this happen, even though he won't get to go into the park. No pressure, Theme Park Rob. I hadn't thought about this scenario yet with Theme Park Rob involved. But it would be to get into Typhoon Lagoon with maybe 45 minutes to spare if the plane landed on time and everything hit just right. It's not going to happen because the plane landed in the 3 o'clock hour and Typhoon Lagoon closes at 5.
Yeah.
But to at least get the content recreating the run through Typhoon Lagoon. And maybe at least get me onto Humunga Cowabunga to see if I would do it before the park closes. That would be the goal.
Order.
That was the goal right there.
Yeah, that's a tall
The
order.
Blizzard Beach isn't open, so God knows. Thankfully, I don't have to go on Summit Plummet.
Summit Plummet. Lazy River, 20 minutes and out. Boom. 417 traffic will make or break us. So, got to wear those swim trunks on the plane.
Go change in the lavatory. I'm not wearing swim trunks on a plane. It's uncomfortable.
I mean, sure. No.
Lewis is sad. Lewis is gonna have the FOMO for me running through Typhoon Lagoon.
Or Nostalgia, Lewis. Which will it be?
But I think that would be
What
like an
is this
Instagram
episode
live
about?
situation.
Yeah, true.
All right. Did we end up on Disney World talk? I think we can wrap it up now.
I don't know what we're talking
What are you
about.
going to keep in this episode is the question.
We'll see.
This is what happens when we move a conversation we planned for the October 30th episode up 4 weeks.
Yep, exactly.
This is what you get,
Here we
everyone.
are.
You get a random 20-minute rant about the Mets and Star Wars.
There may have been 5 minutes about not so scary. There may have been a solid.
You got some Only Murders and the Morning Show talk. You got some not so scary Halloween party talk. You got some just like general nostalgia talk. You got meetup talk, EPCOT talk, Typhoon Lagoon talk. We did it. We did all the things. All right, let's wrap it up. I mean, if this doesn't get you excited to see us in 5 weeks, what will? In Walt Disney World. This is it, everyone.
Yeah.
Get excited. 5 weeks away.
Yeah.
Until next time, she's Jen and I'm Frank. Bye-bye.
Deuces. The Dillo's Diz podcast is hosted by Frank Cardillo and Jen Cardillo Snyder. Music produced by Matt Harvey. Logos and video production courtesy of Snydillo Studios. Dillo's Diz Resort is our Patreon with tiers starting as low as $1 per month. You can visit DillosDizResort.com to learn more. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, X Twitter, and Facebook at Dillo's Diz. Check us out on YouTube by visiting youtube.com/DillosDiz. Don't forget to like and subscribe while you're there. We also have merch available on TeePublic and Etsy. For all this and more, visit our one-stop shop, DillosDiz.com. Dillo's Diz Podcast 2025.